my goats were missing at first.
They were missing. Where did they go?
Well, they went to the show. So when I brought them back, I just kind of tossed everything on my desk. I'm like, crap, where's my goats? I had to quick stand up and grab them because if I don't get back here in time, all you're going to get is a butt shot for me. So, and no one wants that.
That's, I would say that's fair.
Right. So, so I got the goats. They're safe. We're good. They have all their ears and everything.
Very nice.
Yeah. All right. Let me just get some clicking around here so I'm ready to go. Let's see. We got 14 chatters in here already. Woo! We're going to be smoking tonight. I can't wait. Obviously, there's nothing to do outside when it's like 300 below zero. So,
oh man, it is cold again.
Yeah, I'm happy to just stay in my basement. Thank you very much. Yo, YouTube, welcome back to live with Charlie, Stu, and like 10 other goats now. Like we're just goat central here. We found a theme and we pretty much ran with it. We do have a new look to the video screens tonight, so let us know what you think of that. We were trying to come up with something that was a little more focused where the backgrounds weren't as distracting, I guess. So I don't know. We thought we'd give this a shot. Thanks everybody for joining us. We appreciate you. Please post in the chat. We have a couple of topics we want to cover tonight. We want to review the GOAT show, the GOAT card show that is in Green Bay. We had one this past weekend and it was amazing. It blew my mind. And we've already scheduled our next one, so we'll talk about that a little bit. We want to talk about Topps Series 1 release and why this is actually a decent rip and flip product. And Charlie and I plan to participate in some of that. I still didn't get my hobby box of Bowman U Chrome, so I haven't had my hobby box fix. So I think Top Series 1 might do that for me because I think it comes out February, right? First week of February.
12th, I want to say.
12th, okay. So I can hold off till then, I guess, to rip a hobby box. I did rip some Panini sticker packs today, though.
Yeah,
and that kind of segues into our third topic if we get to it tonight. We'll see. Looking at alternative products to buy to make some money on, because that's what most of us are here for, right? We're trying to flip, get that side hustle or make that living, whatever position you're in. So we'll talk about that as well. So let's start with the card show. What did you think? We did our little card dealer pro demo, so we were pretty busy, occupied, working and doing different things, but I think we both had some time to get out and just really enjoy the show too.
Yeah. So first of all, I thought that the Card Dealer Pro demos went over really well. I know both of us had turns at the table where we had people walking us through that. I don't know about you, but I had an opportunity to go through the full process. How you run them through the scanner, why we chose the scanner we did, and the differences between some of the scanners, and then go through the Card Dealer Pro part as well, and the different templates you can set up, and the different features there, and then also how do you get it into eBay then? So I had some really good conversations with people. It did take me away from some buying time, so I actually will have a pickups video from the show out in the morning. I know you got yours out there already, which featured the buys you made in my nickel box. But
you brought it up, not me. So I'd just like to point out I sold 2 of those cards today. Actually, I have an offer on another one too, but that hasn't completed yet. So
there you go.
But I sold a Trout card for $2.99 and a Nolan Ryan card for $2.99. Oh, I sold the Gold Max Scherzer for $2.50. So I did get a third sale.
Yeah.
They most of them weren't mint plus, but they were in pretty decent shape, and I listed them as excellent, and I got buys. So the Nolan Ryan was actually in great shape. I'm not quite sure why he had that in there. The other 89 Bowmans had like brown water stains a little bit on the corners. But the Nolan Ryan was fine. So, yeah, the Nolan Ryan for 5 cents. Of course I'm going to buy that. So
now I got to find some new eye candy to put in my box to entice people to start looking through there.
I thought what really caught my eye was that Pedro Martinez Pacific Prism. My love for those. And I was like, 10 cents. And then I looked at your sign and it said, buy 10, get 10. And I'm like, 5 cents? Yeah, I'm in. And
I was looking to move some volume in those boxes.
Sure. And it wasn't hard for me I found 18 out of 20 cards. So I just grabbed 2 other cards. I didn't care what they were.
Yeah.
For $2. And, I've already got 6, I already got $8.50 and it's only been a day. So, good flips for me. So I was really, really pleased with that. I did buy a bunch of Kakawao Warner Brothers cards, which you tipped me off to. Happened to be sold by a dealer that I needed to go talk to anyway. He wanted to have a conversation about something else. So it worked out well. I bought the rest of his silvers, $1 a card, and got those listed in the second store yesterday. And just before the show, I had a $60 order on them. Yeah, 12 cards for $60. So,
really?
Yep. So there's I think these are going to be okay long term. And again, it's just good stuff that you don't see a ton of.
Look at that Joker. It's hard to see with the lighting right now, but
these are the small circles.
Yeah, these are pretty amazing cards. I just started listing some of them. Thundercats. Look at these Thundercats. Man.
I got a bunch of Thundercats too. I stuck with the silvers because I just wanted the basic, clean, shiny look. When I sell Marvel cards, which I sell a ton of Marvel cards, usually the chromes, because there's always yellow variants and pink ice, and they do the same thing as sports basically. But it seems to me where it's just the character featured, like the silver just pops so much more. Yeah. And you can take a nice picture of it and list it.
You're right.
Unless it's something serial numbered, then that changes the game. Obviously that would be better. But
look at them side by side.
I just like the silver, and the rarity is basically this
refractor.
Yep. And the rarity is basically the same in those parallels, so you're not really gaining anything going to like the black or the blue or anything like that. Color match doesn't come into play really like sports does. So I just told him, I said, I just want the silvers. Give me your stack of silvers. He was asking $2 per card. He had 110 cards left, and I told him I'd give him $1 a card, and we were able to put that together. So
yep.
And the Bugs Bunnies alone. Yeah, the Bugs Bunnies alone, when I looked those up, I saw recent sales histories of $20 a card for Bugs Bunny. And I got 2 of them. So I thought, okay, well, there's got to be more than $110 in this thing. So and I'm over halfway there. I got 60 tonight, so before fees, but still.
I only listed like 5 of them before the show here, and at least a couple of them I listed for $5-6 each, based on recent comps. So
and those are just something you can stretch out a little bit more on the price because there isn't 1,000 listings of them. If you list a base rookie card of some football player, there's going to be 1,000 listings of it. So I really like these products. When we saw them at the National, they had their little display there with the different boxes and in the cases and that. You couldn't buy anything, but had some on display, and I thought pretty solid. You don't see a lot of cards of these properties. I've got some Flintstones. This is the traffic cop from Frosty the Snowman. How dope is that?
I saw that one, yeah.
Right? You got the Jetsons, you got I probably didn't get some of the bigger names. I know some of the stuff got bought. Which is, when you're making an end of the show bio, you have to understand that some of it's gone.
Tasmanian Devil.
Yeah, Tasmanian Devil. I got a silver Taz.
Some Yogi Bear.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep, I got those two silvers.
Tom and Jerry.
So what he told me was sold out before I got there was all the Friends cards
Yep.
and Gremlins cards, which I would have loved those.
I got two Gremlins.
And did you? Nice.
Yeah, in the base.
Okay. And I didn't want any base. To me, that was like that was going to be harder to find buyers for. I figured the super shiny would pop and be able to get me the sales.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So I don't know. Yeah, and I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe these are super hot. Like I said, I just listed them yesterday. I think some yesterday, some today, and then I just had a 12 card order tonight. So it'll be fun. We'll have to see how it goes. But anyway, yeah. So I think we got some good pickups at the show. I got some good stuff out of your box. I got those cows. And to me, it's really important when you're putting on a show to go visit your dealers, try to find some buys from them, get them some business. One of the buyers right before the end of the show, because we offered a deal if they book right away for the next show, which, by the way, is March 16th. If Charlie wants to throw the picture up there, we could do that.
I sure will.
But I ended up buying like $50 worth of stuff from him. He's like, good, I'm going to go pay for my table for the next show. There it is. Our fancy new flyer. I like this one. I think this is a nice design.
Yep, I like it as well.
Very obviously card show. We didn't realize until way later on that on our flyer for our first show, nowhere on it did it say card show, which I don't know how we got away with that, but
except for where we explained GOAT is Green Bay's officially awesome trading card show. It did mention that.
That's true. It did. But you had to kind of dig into the flyer a little bit to see that. I like this one. It's got some nice March tints to it. It's got a couple of nice shamrocks on there, so you know exactly when that show's going to be. And
the shamrocks were a deal breaker for me. I got to have some shamrocks.
I agree. I said the same thing. So, and we'll probably modify this a little bit. We'll add a photo for some of our giveaways and things like that, like we've done with the other couple shows. But yeah, so we're working on it. So here's the coolest thing for today. We just had 2 more tables booked right before I came on. We're at like 44% booked already. And we just announced a show like yesterday or 2 days ago. And of course to the dealers when we were at the show, when the next one will be. And we were nowhere near that in booking the other two shows. So I feel like we've got a pretty good stronghold here on what makes the show successful, and that we can, keep doing this. Hopefully we'll get a lot of return dealers. In the same light, I don't mind if some dealers don't come to every show, because it gives somebody else an opportunity to get a table and participate as well. But I thought the demos went really well too. Just to kind of go back to what you were initially talking about, and the way I found it successful. Ooh, our circles were bigger there. We were showing more meat of the background. But what I found worked for me was I was just sitting down and working on a batch. So instead of kind of like waiting for somebody to come up and say, "Can you show me a demo?"
Right.
I just started working on a batch, and I'd have a couple people kind of coming up, and you saw it in the photos if you saw on the Goat Show page some pictures from the show. A picture of me just kind of working with some people watching. But I found that was the best way to do it. It's less intimidating for somebody to just walk over and be like, "Can you do a thing for me?" They could just kind of come over and observe, and then they would, inevitably somebody would point out, "Oh, so you do this scanner, and then it comes in here. Well, what do you do with that then?" And and then I could kind of go, if they wanted more information, kind of go into it more. And it was kind of nice. I got a couple batches of scans done while I was there, so I got a little bit of work done, which is always good. I did some of those McDonald's cards. Remember those McDonald's cards I picked up at?
Yes.
It had like Mac Tonight on it, or Mac the Night, and it had Charles Barkley and a bunch of really cool ones. So I tried to work on some stuff that was interesting, right? So, and it's a good way to show off the AI, because if you scan a bunch of 1990 Fleer baseball cards, they should come up, right? But 1992 McDonald's, advertising cards. If it pulls those in, you probably got something here, quality product. So,
Right.
a shout out to Car Dealer Pro. The demo worked really well. They sent us some goodies to give away. We got a few left, so maybe we'll bring those for a future show. But thought it was a nice thing to add. I don't know exactly what we're gonna do for the next one. Bree asked if you guys want to run the demo again. I don't know that I want to do that 2 shows in a row. I don't know that there's that kind of interest.
Yeah.
And it kind of ties us up. It was harder to like get around, talk to dealers, and do things like that when
What
you're
is
there.
nice though is we may still want to bring the laptop and the scanner and scan some while we're at the table.
Yeah. I mean, you can get quite a bit of work done with that. So
Yeah.
it's that was good. And we're gonna meet again hopefully next week. I know the girls were trying to set up a dinner for us all to get it together and kind of do a post-mortem on this current show that we just had, celebrate a little bit, and then come up with some plans for the next one on some new things to do. So
what I think
we are
was
looking
really, really good is that we had serious competition on this show with the NFL. It was a playoff Sunday, and the Packers were playing at 3:00.
Yep.
So people had that on their calendars as well. But we still got a heck of a crowd, and sold out, a majority of our tables, which is, really impressive when we're going up against, what were there, 4 football games starting at noon on Sunday.
Yeah, I agree, and I think we did a really good. So this was my take on it. Now, I've done a lot of other trade shows. I don't know if I've mentioned this on here before, but I've done some really big stuff. We're talking like 15,000 attendees kind of stuff, shows. And I knew, this wasn't going to be that, but I knew kind of the little things you needed to do to build something like this. The first show, you really got to you got to attract dealers, right? Because if you got nobody set up to sell stuff, and they're the ones who pay the bill, right? Because they buy the tables. It doesn't matter if customers show up if you've got nobody there to set up. So you have to really focus on that, and then you're just trying to create awareness, like, hey, we're doing this thing, we've never done it before. And then you kind of get your dealers bought in, and the show's successful, and then you really start focusing on the community, right? Okay, this is the second one we've done now, so we know what we're doing, and you kind of reach out a little further instead of just reaching to the card shops and the sports stores and stuff like that. Now you're going to boys and girls clubs and community centers and putting your information out on more Facebook groups and spreading that word, and we're trying to build that customer base up, or that attendee base up, even more, so that the dealers get their sales and things like that. I do not think we are going to have any problem selling out this show.
No.
Just based on current, just based on current pump. We'll see. I don't know. And what constitutes a sellout? I was kind of talking to Bree about this yesterday too. I said shows are there's a gray area in shows, right? So you don't want a show to be too small, right? So you only got like 10 tables, customers come, there's nothing to buy. But consequently, you don't really want a show to be too big either, unless right. That's what you're going to promote is, a national or something like that. Because now you have all these dealers that are trying to compete, and you have to try to get all these customers in. You're paying for a much bigger venue, so you have, a lot more expenses. And I think we've kind of hit the nail on the head for our area and what we want to do with an 80 to 85 table show. Gives us plenty of floor space to do some other things, and the staff can handle the food orders volume and the bar, the busyness of the bar, and customers can come in and out at their leisure. There isn't, super long lines or big crammed areas. We heard from a lot of dealers say, hey, there's a lot of nice space here. And there's a good amount of dealers here, but it's a lot of different items and different sellers. And they were all able to find customers and things based on who was coming in. And to me, one of the things that I like the most about our show is it's very family friendly. We had a lot of people come in and, oh, my son just started Pokemon and he wanted to come to the show. We give him a free pack, and um, there's plenty of tables for them to walk around. It's not loud in there because it's wood floors instead of concrete floors. Nice high ceilings, um, big open space. A couple sets of bathrooms. Like, we can really kind of accommodate anybody who wants to come. You can be a single person coming in, or you can come in with 4 kids, and we can get you through the show. So I think
Yeah.
that's a testament to what we're trying to do.
And one of the kids that got a free pack came over. He got it wasn't a downtown, but it was similar. It was a really nice card he pulled out of there, and Aaron Rodgers. And he was happy as a lark, man, with the card he got out of there. He felt like
It was
he
was it
big
out of the
winner.
Prism packs? Because I threw some
think
Prism
so.
packs in there. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good
Yeah.
for him. I've been holding on to that box since like 2021.
Yeah. The other thing
So,
you touched on, I think you're absolutely right. You don't want to get too big, because one of the things that I think has really been appreciated at our show is the amenities we have included with it. I think that's made a big difference. And just the team we have working it. We had people going around all the dealers. Hey, can I get you something from the kitchen so you don't have to get up and things like that? We start getting any bigger than we are, and now we have to sacrifice some of those amenities or bring in more people, right? So,
right.
So right now, I think it's a perfect size.
Yeah, I've been at shows where like the bar is crammed up right by the table, so there's really nowhere to sit, and then there's 10 people waiting for a bartender, and there's only one bartender, so you're wasting a good chunk of your show time, just trying to get a drink. And I think they do a great job there. We had a better menu this time. We had more items on the menu. Some easier finger foods. I know we didn't get our chip beef
One
sandwich.
big omission.
We're gonna have a phone call. That's okay. We'll try to take care of that. But that being
I
said,
don't see Max yet. Maybe that's why. Maybe he's upset.
Max booked his tables today, so he couldn't have been too upset. But a decent variety of stuff. I mean, they had shrimp and a fish sandwich, and what was the other thing? They were like the mushrooms, the breaded mushrooms,
It was
and
like a combo basket. Yeah,
the combo basket thing had that stuff on there, and then there was a hot dog and some chicken fingers and some. Yeah,
we got the circles tonight. You got to squeeze
I know.
in.
Oh, we got
this.
Oh.
So I'm watching from.
Yeah, it's a very, very small camera view tonight.
I'm watching in from upstairs. We really, really pride on making sure that it's a family orientated card show, that we're bringing people in. We saw lots of people from card dealers from in town who came in with their children, and we're really excited about the way we have things set up this time, so that it accommodated the entire family. So that was such a compliment. And Matt, you mentioned all peoples, right? Kids, you were right. When we first started talking about this, we started talking about we want the whole family. That's why we were bringing ourselves together, because 2 years ago, Bree, Adam, Charlie, and I decided that we were going to spend more time together as families, right? And here we are with a card show that came off of a tip off of another card show, and those people were at our card show as well. So, I mean, it's just, we really are trying to make sure that we touch the whole community. We just do something Bree and I we all really enjoy, just really making sure that things hit the community. We did the Paul's Pantry. We did, so if there's any other ideas, gosh, I don't know, but I just don't want it to get too big, like you said.
Right. And I think that's important. I want to keep expanding and adding some new things, but I think I want to do it in the realm of more things we can give away, more experiences we could have, like a photo booth with a big goat, that you could take your picture with. I think that stuff would be more fun than like, okay, let's just add more tables.
I know. We're
Um,
not here about profit. We're all here about having fun around a
Mhm.
hobby together, like
Yep.
teaching and learning from each other and then having fun doing it. So
yeah.
if I have to go get Leo, his chicken nuggets or his $5 chicken basket just to make sure that he can keep selling, then we'll run and go do it.
And for as much as we were told before we started this show, like food isn't important, man, we get a lot of comments on the food.
Yeah.
The food was awesome. The $5 chicken special was amazing. We had a
Yeah.
dealer who had a big football party going on afterwards. He bought like 20 orders of the $5 chicken. He was going to feed his whole party with this chicken deal that our venue had. So I kind of disagree. I like to have something to eat. Even if I'm not a dealer, if I'm attending, it's nice to take a break, have a nice table to sit at where it's quieter, and open your packs and have a drink or have a soda and and a sandwich or something. Their fries were really good.
They're so good. And that crispy outer lining. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Right. So here we are talking about a card show, and all we're really talking about is the food. We go there for the food.
But Midwesterns together, food
Right.
in a cocktail or a pop.
And the price was good too, because I got the chicken sandwich, so I got a nice good sized chicken, or not, I got the fish sandwich. Got a nice good sized piece of fish, on the sandwich, and then a nice helping of fries, and it was $6. Like you can't eat at McDonald's for that, and this is like real food. It was all prepared, at order, so it wasn't like all just sitting around, and they were quick. I ordered the sandwich, and as fast as they could fry it, it was on a plate and ready for me to. But that goes back to not getting too big. If you have too many attendees, you get a line of 20 people, trying to order. Look what happened at the National trying to get something to eat. We almost starved to death there, because they just couldn't handle that size. So anyway, I think it was a great show. Dealers seemed to do really well. We had a lot of positive feedback. Community really enjoyed it. Hey, I met this little guy today. What's his name again? I forgot.
This is Benny. He's another guest of the show tonight.
He's not barking at me this time. What's going on?
No,
look at him. He's looking at the screen like, hey, I think I know that guy.
Yeah,
I believe I was yelling at him earlier.
He followed Jenny down with 2 blankets on top of him. He didn't let it stop him. He came down like a ghost down the stairs.
Nice.
All right, enough of that. Let's get back to business.
Yeah. So I think that's enough about the show. Obviously, not everybody's going to be able to attend or participate in it, but it's a big part of what we wanted to do, what we wanted to build on this year, and we had a huge, successful early year show. Scheduled the next one right away, March 16th. We're all paid and ready to go, and can't wait to see as many people there as possible. If you are out of the area and you can make it to the area at some point to come and enjoy our show, we would love that. We can hang out with you. We can help you get accommodations, show you around the town. We got Lambeau, of course. That's a big draw.
Yeah.
And even our venue. Our venue was the original place that they had the Packer annual meeting. So you'd have Lombardi up on the stage and addressing the shareholders
at times.
And yeah, that's what I understand. But it's one of the only town-owned teams in professional sports, and so it's got some nice history to that. Also, it was Buddy Holly and Chubby Checker. No, Buddy Holly, Big Bopper. It was their second to last show before they died in a plane crash.
And
Richie Valley. Yep. Richie Valley was the one who survived, right? Because he didn't get on the plane. One of them didn't get on the plane.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm pretty sure it was him.
Yeah.
Richie Valens. So just it's cool when you go backstage, and you can't do this yourself when you go there, but if you get me and Charlie, we can take you back there. But all the bands that have played over the years have signed, the backstage area, the green room area, and it's just really cool. I went and saw the Verve Pipe there in high school. They were awesome in the 90s.
Did you stay until closing?
And Of course I did. Which was probably like 11 o'clock at that time. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember what. But anyway, it was cool because when I went backstage, I saw their signatures on the wall and stuff. So, yeah, it's just a really, really unique card show venue. It's laid out well. I thought the lighting was a lot better this time. I don't know
Yeah.
how,
Mhm.
because I thought we had it all, turned up all the way last time. But it seemed like the light. I didn't have any problem seeing cards this time.
No, I really didn't
And
either.
last time, as I was sitting for a little while, I started getting like, those zombie eyes where it's like you have to focus so hard to see what you're
Yeah.
doing, where you just kind of like,
Yeah.
the rest of my world sort of faded away, and I didn't have that problem at all. So, but we did learn that there's outlets in between the different table areas, and the vendors are welcome to bring, any lighting or anything like that. I know the dealer in the far corner who does like all the scaffolding and stuff,
Mhm.
brought some lighting, and that really helped. That back corner was
Yeah.
lit really nice.
Yeah.
So, you have to the venue has tons of positives, and just need to, kind of work on some of the the little bit of negatives. And then there's some things that you just can't change. This is what the place is. And for as great as it is with the nice floors and the high ceilings, it affects the lighting. So,
Yeah.
we can try to come up with some more solutions for that. But I really think the dealers were able to do a good job with it. And it seemed much brighter. So, whatever they did, it worked.
Yeah, for sure.
And we got on the marquee. We're going to do that again. So we'll be advertising, on a main street in downtown Green Bay, that the show is coming, and we'll be out promoting it. I'm going to do flyers tomorrow. We ran out of paper, so I went and got paper today. So we'll print a bunch of the new flyers. I'll go start dropping those off tomorrow. I got like 70 pounds of food in my trunk. I got to drop off at Paul's Pantry, because when I left your house, I got there at 2:16, and they stopped taking donations at 2:00.
Really?
Yes, and I did not know that. So, luckily it's non-perishable, so no big deal. I just left it in my Jeep. I'll bring it back tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I did have some personal house donations for St. Vincent de Paul across the street, and they were still open. So at least I could make that donation. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to the food pantry. And obviously with a food pantry, you can't just leave boxes of food outside. That would be a big no-no. Unlike bags of clothes at a different donation place, you could do that, but you can't do that with food. So, so I'll make that part of my runs tomorrow. Hit the card shops. I've got a couple of places on the east side I wanted to stop at anyway to drop some flyers, Boys and Girls Club. And I got a buddy who owns a bookstore over there. We're going to get some stuff out there. So, so that'll be our start for just to start pumping for the next one, and we'll keep going. Really love the new flyer design. I think that's kind of fun, and that was one of the things when we were designing a logo, was we really wanted to try to adapt our flyer to each show, kind of have like a season theme sort of thing, right? And I think that just screams, St. Patrick's Day, March. With our own little flair, with our goat on there, of course.
Yeah, I agree. Here, make it a little bigger. And then we'll have a raffle prize again. We'll get on there. I think we have another helmet lined up, don't we?
We do. We kind of talked about, we actually have, I don't want to go too far into this because we don't have anything locked down yet, but we do have another helmet. But we were thinking maybe we wouldn't do the helmet this next time. We do have a vendor who has some really cool stuff he wants to donate as our giveaway, and we're kind of working with him. So don't really want to say what it's going to be yet, but I think it might be fun to not do a helmet this next time. Do something different. Maybe something not football is kind of where it's leaning.
Yeah.
Just so there's something for everyone. This is not a sports card show. This is a collectible cards show. So we want Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Transformers cards, Kakawao, Warner Brothers cards. We want, baseball, football, basketball, I don't, whatever has a collectible card. That's where we really want to land this show. So it's important for us to not get too caught up in the, okay, here's your giveaway packs of football. For our packs this time, we had some Marvel Trick or Treat packs. We had some 2021 Prism Draft football. We had some holiday baseball packs, and we had some Pokemon. So, we had a pretty good range there, and it's amazing when the kids come in; they don't all pick the same thing. I was really shocked that the Marvel packs went really fast.
Yeah,
they weren't. In my eyes, they weren't that special, but a lot of kids who came in, they love Marvel. So, I think that's something we want to make sure we keep our focus on. That we keep changing things out a little bit to get them fresh and try to include as many different. Just like the Card Dealer Pro demo, that's really for dealers. Although we did have some people who were like, I just got 100,000 cards and I don't know how to do them. But that was something we wanted to offer to the dealers to provide some education on what we do and share what we do. So we had something for the dealers. We had something for the kids. We had plenty of things to buy in different items. I saw a lot of Funko Pops being sold and walking out the door. So whatever you were into, pop culture, collectible wise, we probably had something for you. And to me, it's really nice to see. It's nice to see the crowd come in. We were really packed for a while there, but it's also nice to see that as the crowd is leaving, they've got stuff in their hands.
Yeah.
So that means we had really quality dealers who had good products. Means we had a lot of people who attended with the intention of participating in the show and, making a buy or making a trade or whatever. Kids that were just having fun, ripping it. I saw lots of people sitting at the tables by us, with a box of cards or a few packs of cards. And had a nice drink and some meal and, opened some packs and had some fun. So I think it was everything I wanted it to be.
I'd love to see some breakers set up as well. And we haven't really tested out the Wi-Fi there to see if it would sustain that. We might, if somebody wants to do that, they might have to bring in their own like MiFi unit or something to have a dedicated line to be really, certain they're going to have the broadband capacity to do that. But I think we've got room where we could set up places specifically for a couple breakers as well.
And you know what? We were kind of able to test it ourselves because we obviously had to use the Wi-Fi to be able to do what we were doing. And I really didn't have any problems with it, to be honest with you. I was able to get around and log in, and it wasn't like the fastest internet I've ever used in my whole life. I'm on fiber here, so it's really hard to compare to something like that. But I felt like the Wi-Fi handled it just fine.
Yeah, I think maybe next time if I do have the laptop there, maybe we fire it up and do a quick live shot, on the laptop on StreamYard here or direct to YouTube.
Sure.
And just see how well it does, make sure it stays stable. And if that's the case, then we can start talking to some dealers about that possibility.
And that was something I was kind of thinking. I didn't mention this to you yet, but that was kind of something I was thinking about for the next show is what if we do this live, but we do it during the show.
Yeah, we could set up on the stage with the show behind us going on, and we
could bring a dealer up and kind of have a conversation with them, and I think that might be. It seems feasible based on my experiences with the Wi-Fi there. So I think that could be a lot of fun.
Try that.
Yeah, and then we could do it. We don't want to maybe do it for all like 5 hours of the show and have a 5-hour show, but maybe we do, at 10 o'clock, there's going to be, the live show, and, we do that till noon or something like that, and just have some fun with it and kind of, it's like, radio hosts will do that. They'll do like a live show at a bar, right? Or they'll do a live show at some event, and so like that could be fun, and that could be a good way for us to truly test a streaming Wi-Fi there, and
have a remote.
Yeah, and then we can, show that with confidence to a breaker and say, hey, this is what we did here, and it worked really well. Would you like to come and do a break? So that was kind of my concept for the next one. It's real easy as far as equipment for us to bring. I've got some lighting, I've got, some phone stands. Obviously, we bring our computers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think our topics would be, pretty obvious. It would be, hey, this is the show, where are we at with sports right now, kind of thing, and maybe bring a dealer or two up, or a customer up, or a little kid up, and have them. It'd be fun to get a kid up there that got his pack and have him open his pack and see what he gets, and or sure. She. I shouldn't say he. I'm implying, but I think something like that would be really cool. And we haven't really brought our show to the show. And a lot of people know us from this show, so I think that would be a really cool thing, and somebody might even just want to watch us live, just as something different. So
yeah, I think that's definitely something we talk about for the next show, and see what we can do to set something up. I mean, we wouldn't be able to do it obviously the whole show because we have work we have to do while we're there. But if we can do a live for 30 minutes or something like that, I think it would be a good test run and give people a little more exposure to the show, and it'd be a good thing.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking an hour to 2 hours, just to make it long enough. But yeah, we can work on some details and stuff later, but I think that would be a great idea. And something new. I haven't seen people like broadcast live from their show. I think that would be really, really fun. All right, let's. We should probably move on to some chat. We're about 42 minutes in here, and we'll try to get to the second topic, which is the 2025 Topps Series 1 and why that is actually a rippable, resellable product to some degree.
Rippable.
So
we want to rippable.
All right, Peter's here. Yo. Yeah. Yo, Stu. What's up, Peter? Thanks for joining us. What up, all? Hope the show went well for you both and you didn't have too much of a food coma. I could have used more food coma. That would have been all right with me. I can always use more food. It's funny because I kind of waited for like a lull in the show to finally go get my lunch.
Yeah.
So I went and got my lunch, and I came back, and as soon as I sat down, before I even took a bite, I had somebody who wanted to do a demo.
Yep.
So I'm like, no, okay. And cold old fish sandwich is not necessarily the greatest thing to eat. It's not that great cold food, but it stayed pretty warm. I was impressed. It was okay. Dan says, you guys are blowing my mind by switch sides of the screen. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that happened. Yeah, I used to be on the left. And now,
sometimes.
Yeah, now Charlie's over there. So, yeah. Our goal is to knock you off your chair every week. So this is kind of how we're accomplishing that. Art Green is here. Good evening. Good evening to you as well. Like the new look. Aside from the side swap, change is scary. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like to rest on my laurels for too long. I always feel like there's something you can improve on. I don't want to change the whole universe because I think that I know people who do that too, and it gets annoying because it's like, can't you just leave something alone? It works,
Yeah.
So I think the show works, and I think our format works. I thought this was a nice way to kind of give us a little bit different focus, and anyway. Bill is here. What's up? I'm so glad you're here, Bill. We haven't had a good was up in a couple of weeks. We need somebody to come pump that up. So, and we'll definitely, if we do the live show at the card show, we will definitely do some was ups. It'd be awesome if like some people from the crowd came up like behind, like into our camera here, and they're like, "What's up?" I would love that. That would slay me. My only scary part of doing a live is you don't know what the rest of the crowd's going to do.
That's true.
So I would have to kind of, as far as the live stream goes, that's fine, but I might have to kind of do something with it later to talk YouTube off the ledge if somebody decides, to flip off the camera or do something like that. But
Well, don't give anybody ideas.
right. And when you said, "Oh, we'll put us up on the stage," I'm like, "Oh, brilliant!" Because then we wouldn't have a bunch of people just coming up behind us. Because I was thinking we'd go where we did Car Dealer Pro out on the floor.
Yeah.
But I think that I think the stage would be a better choice.
Mm-hmm.
Then we could use that space where we were, because I was like, man, we could put like a cool activity or something there. If we didn't have tables and stuff set up there. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. We have to have our little gang meeting and come up with what we want to do for that. Evening, going with the binocular look tonight. I see. See, we got people talking, didn't we? We did it just for you, Johnny. Boomslang says, "Yo, I love it.
Yo.
Plain, simple, to the point." You ever watch Breaking Bad?
I never got into that show.
No, so good. Jesse on that show, the guy who plays Jesse, that's what he said. Like every single sentence was he had a yo in there, and I loved it. It made me so happy. A lot of people got annoyed by it. I was like, no, yo is a great word. So obviously, I think that. How has the managing the volume between the second store going? Is the ultimate plan to 60K that store as well? I don't really have like a listing goal for that store because I want to keep my primary store full before anything else. But really, it's just to build out a non-sports store. Is my actual just focus for right now. So as I find cool non-sports stuff or I buy non-sports stuff, that's where it's going to go. So far, managing the volume hasn't been that bad. I only get a couple orders a day because I only have like 1,000 cards in there. But it's been picking up. Last few days, I've had a few more orders. I have 4 orders from today, but one order is 12 cards. So I'm starting to get like some larger size orders, which is really what you want. That's how you really make money. But it's my focus for probably a little over a year now has really been trying to pick up non-sport stuff. So it just made sense. As I was filling up the primary store, it made sense to keep on with the non-sport stuff and go from there. Now, my primary store with 60,000 listings keeps me very, very busy. Do I want a second version of that? Except I'm not pulling sports cards, I'm pulling Batman cards. I don't know. Scaling is probably one of the biggest issues in what we do, or what I do at least. I don't know if anybody else is trying to get to this point, but scaling is something you have to really kind of pre-plan for and decide how far you want to go. And it's kind of like we just talked about with the card show. Do I want to make the show bigger just for the sake of being bigger? What does that hurt? Does that hurt our show team? Does that hurt our profit? Does it hurt the dealer's experience, the customer's experience? How many giveaways we can do? Like, yeah, it's kind of the same thing with the second store. I want to make sure that I'm still providing top-notch customer service and shipping things on time and doing all that stuff. I am top-rated seller plus there too, so that's nice. My stores are in good spots. But yeah, I'm just kind of trying to list some each time. I'll tell you, the second device tip is a friggin' lifesaver. If you're going to do this at all, you have to do that. So I literally unlocked my phone. This is my daughter's drawing. Isn't it great? She's like, you could take the background off of there. I'm like, no, you made it. I love it. Because she had this phone when she was like 2. So it wasn't a phone she took anywhere. It was just for like emergencies. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, I can literally just go right to the eBay tab, and just kind of give it a flick in the seller tab, and it tells me what's going on. Do I have offers to send? In fact, I have offers right now to send. I have offer to go out on a Kakawau Roadrunner card and an offer to go out on a Topps Chrome Star Wars. What is this card? I don't remember what this card is. Topps Chrome Star Wars Mandalorian. I think it's the IG. Oh, the Dark Trooper.
Oh,
Refractor.
okay.
The armored ready insert, I guess. I don't know. So I'll send some offers on that. But look at how quick this is. Like send offers. I'll do 10%. Kind of my standard. Boom, offer sent. I have no other offers to send. And I can go right back to this main screen and it tells me, what to do. Because this is a small store. What you guys maybe don't understand if you're not to this size, but when you get to like 25, 30,000 listings, half of the eBay app doesn't really work. Like I can't search my listings in the app because I just have too many and it gives up. Versus in my smaller store, like I can really do everything right on this little selling screen in the app. So in the morning when I go to fill orders, I literally just pick this up, unlock the phone. I don't even turn it off because I just plug it in at night or whatever in my office. And then I can just click fill the orders and boom, pull those orders, and then I'm done. So here's my big Takawa order. You can see there.
Nice.
So I'm not fibbing you guys. I'm not fibbing you. Oh, and I sold a Wednesday Addams, just a base card from the 1991
I sold
Addams
the
family
Dawn
set.
Wells Mary Ann this morning. That made me smile.
Yeah, yep. I got $4.99 for that card.
Really?
Yep. Now what's cool is I use my same scan banner, my dollar box. So the buyer might not even know it's from my second store because that's what I was trying to explain to people when I was going to do this. And everybody's like, you can't do a second store. You built this brand, blah, blah, blah. I can use the brand on that store too because no one cares about the username on eBay. They care about who the vendor is or who the store is. My vendor name is not the dollar box on my eBay primary store either. I opened that eBay store 20 years ago. I wasn't even the dollar box then. So anyway, I think it's great. I think it's going to be fine, going on. When I start getting to that 25,000, 30,000 listing, and then trying to do stuff on here becomes a little bit more complicated. And I still have both stores up on my desktop. I just use two different browsers and log into eBay in two different ways. So
Sure.
It's pretty easy to use once I get on there. But as far as like pulling orders, you guys have seen my sales day videos. In fact, I tried to upload one tonight before we got on here and kind of ran out of upload time. But I basically just grab my two phones, go over to my polling station, and pull one phone up and grab all the orders for that phone, set that aside, grab the other phone. So it doesn't really complicate it a whole lot. But 60,000, I don't know. We'll see. It would take me a long time to get there anyway. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a long ways to go from opening a second store, but I can already, well, I guess technically I have a second store, just not on eBay. But I can already see down the road there is going to likely come a time where I open a second eBay store as well.
It can be nice because it sort of gives you an option to do something else. Like, I don't know. Let's say you have 25 copies of a card and you're like, well, maybe I want to put 12 here and 13 there, just to try to get it to, because I truly believe the server you're on with eBay and like what algorithm you happen to hit changes between stores. So you might not, like Charlie and I have discussed this in the past. Cards that I sell in my store, he can't sell. Cards he sells in his store, I can't sell. Or they take longer to sell is probably a more accurate way to put it. But why is that? If I'm selling the same card and I have a good reputation and a good price, why can't I sell it? But then Charlie gets the sale. So I don't think it's as simple as you just have a good eBay store and you're automatically getting that sale. There's other things that come into play with that, and what time of the day are you on, and what eBay is pushing your listings, and this gives me an option to test some things, right? Like I want to do a different percentage of promotions. Well, I can do it in this store and then compare that to the other store. And it sort of it's almost like a beta, right? So I have my primary store is my alpha. You still want to run your alpha, but it is what it is at this point. I can't make major changes to it without it affecting my business. Whereas the B store is your second store is kind of your beta, and it's like, okay, well, I've learned a lot doing the alpha. I'm going to build on that in the beta side. Now, to further that distinction, I was able to sort of separate out a few different products. So second store makes even more sense then, focusing on non-sport over. I've had a lot of people message me, viewers or people in my primary base store that are like, hey, what's the link to your second store? I'm looking for non-sport stuff. I'm like, I don't have a ton on there yet, but here you go. You can shop over there. Because I don't think there is a lot of really good like non-sport stores. So I feel like that's something that I could really whittle my way into a nice niche. Whether you believe that or not, that's fine. But you definitely believe there are more sports card sellers than there are non-sports sellers. I don't think anybody would argue that point. Unless you bring in gaming, because there's definitely a crap ton of Pokemon dealers. But I've sold a few Pokemon cards. I had a big offer I sent out earlier today on some Digimon cards. I have some One Piece I got a list. So there's some really nice, game cards besides Pokemon. You don't have to buy all Pokemon.
Absolutely.
I also sold some nice Benchwarmer cards. So, you get digital monsters and women in bikinis. I don't, something for everybody, right? It's something for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Too busy to get to the goat show. Sorry, guys. Well, maybe next time, Brad. We have, and we totally understand that. I can't go to every show either, as much as I would like to. But we do have our next show March 16th. It's a Sunday again, 9 to 2. We're staying very consistent with, day of the week and things like that, times. So try to make it. See if you can get it on your calendar. I think you'd have a great time. Not Kelly Collectibles. Good evening, fellas. Good evening to you as well. Thank you for not calling us gentlemen. I'm assuming this is Jenny on here saying hi, or it's your boys, one of the two, or all the above.
Boys, actually,
could be the boys. Bargain Boxer's on here. Benny and the Goat. Benny and the Goat. Goat. I like it. That's nice. Better than Jet. Benny and the Jet.
Yeah.
Lofi's here. He says, good evening. Good evening to you as well. Flyers popular. We got a positive review on the flyer. And we are, like I said, we're like, I'm trying to do the math in my head and I can't right now, but we were 40% booked before we got 2 more tables booked right before the show. So I'm going to say we're at like 45%. I don't know.
All right.
So don't hold me to that math, but we're almost half sold out. So that's pretty awesome considering it's only been a couple days. Found Treasures says Hot Piece and Mahalo.
Oh, yeah.
Boomslang says that he's gotten better with his scanner and Card Dealer Pro 2. I'm up to over 700 items in my store now. It just takes it definitely takes some getting used to. It's funny because the first few times Charlie and I share a scanner, for those who don't know. The first time I was great because I had the scanner. I was doing, packs and getting all good at it, and I gave Charlie the scanner. A couple weeks later, I got it back, and I'm like, wait, how do I do this again? Now when I get it back, I plug it right in, and boom, I've already got batches ready to go, and the stuff flies. So it's a great program. The scanner is great. We use the FI 8170. We did a lot of talking to people at the show about that this weekend, what scanner to use and, how to use the software. Charlie and I use PaperStream, works great. So those are great products if you truly want to do volume. Keith says, "What's up, fellas? Up to almost 30 viewers tonight. Remember to hit the like button. Thank you so much. We need to give this guy a wrench. How do I do that? I don't want to put him in timeout.
I think that's only in YouTube. I don't think it's on
I think
stream.
so too. But I feel like other people who have used StreamYard have done it. I don't know. Whatever. We might have to buy like a real version of StreamYard at some point. We'll see.
Yeah, we can
but
check
yes,
and see if it's in there.
yeah, I'm guessing that it would have something in there. I know it's got more like subscriber count options in there and super chat stuff and members only posts and there's a bunch of different things. But anyway, Keith is right. Please give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying this video. If you are watching this recorded, think about sharing it to somebody else you think would like it. Subscribe to the channel, the Dollar Box. Charlie's channel is JC3 Cards and Collectibles. You can see his store is under his name. Mine store is over my name. But check us out on eBay. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, all those good things. And then subscribe to our YouTube channels to continue to get the videos. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Also, since we're doing the plugs right now, right, perfect timing. We've got our Discord link on the bottom there running across the screen. If you're not in the Discord, join it. It's free. We've got some nice channels in there with, sellers helping each other out. And we have some fun posts, some good pictures and stories and things like that. Experiences, people sharing experiences. So jump in there. It's a great group. All right, back to the show. John Panko says, how much would you pay for a bulk lot of 140 Ken Griffey Jr. early 90s cards? So generally, if they're all just base, probably $0.25 a piece. I would pay. Griffey's move really well for me, and I sell them in large quantities, so I don't have 140 is not a big number to me. That would be a no-brainer quantity to buy Griffey's. If there's some better stuff in there, if there's some chrome and inserts and shiny stuff and die cuts and prisms and things like that, that can obviously change. But if it's just base, Topps, Donruss, Fleer cards, I'd say $0.25 a piece max. And maybe get an even better deal than that if you're going to buy the whole thing. So I'd probably offer like $20. Maybe up to 25 or 30. So you're getting them, you're taking a quarter and then you're trying to get the bulk price off of that. I don't know if that makes sense. What do you think, Charlie?
Yeah, I'm about the same. Like, it really depends on what you're gonna find in there. If they're just base Griffies, yeah, they'll move really well. But just because they're Griffey doesn't mean you're gonna get a lot more than a base card. It just means they're gonna move faster, right? So you still got to get the right price. So I'm right there with you on that. Again, if you've got some nice inserts and some chrome in there and some numbered cards, yeah, then I might creep up on a little bit on what I'm willing to buy. But it just depends on what's in there.
Yeah, and it's different per player, obviously, which you pointed out it was Griffey Jr. If it was Jeter, I'd probably pay upwards of 50 cents a card because I sell Jeters like mad fire. And I have customers that are specifically Jeter buyers that come to my store and regularly buy Jeters at my full price. So I can move things maybe a little different than a different seller in that same player. If it was a bunch of Barry Larkins, I'd be like, I don't know. I don't sell a ton of Barry Larkin. But I'm sure there's a seller out there that does very good Barry Larkin business and, might pay up a tad because they need inventory. So, and that's another thing too. It depends on how much inventory you have. Do you have hundreds of thousands of cards sitting around? Do you need these 140 Ken Griffey Jr. cards? If you don't, it doesn't mean you don't necessarily want to buy them, but you maybe want to just pay less then because you'd just be sitting on them for a while. I don't know. I kind of look at it like, okay, they're early's 90s. This is how the math I do in my head, right? Early's 90s, Ken Griffey Jr., they're probably all scannable, or most of them. I could throw 140 cards in my scanner and get them all done in 20 minutes, have them listed. I've got some Griffey buyers who buy, multiple cards. I could probably sell 60 to 80 of those cards within the first month or two.
Yep.
So even if that was just the break even point, selling 60 of them, great. I've got 80 other cards I can sell that are all my profit now. And I didn't really have to sit on the cards very long because Ken Griffey Jr. is liquid.
Yep.
So hopefully some of that kind of makes sense. I think doesn't he have a documentary or something coming out now too? The Kid.
I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, I thought he had some program that they were coming out with, but I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, that can help too.
So I'm looking ahead to the next question. And it's funny that Lofi Joe's got a question about flattening warped cards, just like this one here. I got a couple of these that I took a chance on, about 15 of these Bowman U Chromes this weekend. And I actually think I'm going to make a video next week about what I do to flatten those out, because I went through a little bit in my pickups video that'll be out in the morning, showing kind of the before and the after. And if people were interested, I can do a video just on that.
Sure.
But I could do one for you, Joe. I've got a little process. Now, I'll tell you, I wouldn't do it with a really good card because you can damage them. Like, here's one that I got a little too rough with. And you can see I damaged the top of that. So I wouldn't do it with a rookie Wemby that got warped, but
right.
With a lower end card, you can save those and take that out.
There you go. Now, what's my process? Now, remember, I don't like to work very hard. So my process is to get them in a bag, an inventory bag, and have that bag packed really full. Because then you basically just turn them into a big brick and they can't curve anymore because they're limited in space inside that bag. And then provided they sit in that bag for a couple months, which in most cases that's, I don't have the liquid enough cards that they'll sell the next day, unless I buy them out of Charlie's nickel box. But yeah, they will just kind of, get to their natural state, versus the curve. There are definitely some cards that are just curved.
Yeah.
And I think Charlie's right. Because I've seen it where some people try to correct it, and then what happens is the back is paper. So when they try to bend it like this, then you start getting those little like minor creases all along it, just from trying to bend the material.
Yep.
So depends on how important it is to you to keep a curved card out. If you put it in a top loader, it's going to look straight anyway.
Well, when it goes out, but then as soon as they take it out of the top load, it could.
That's not my problem.
I like it to be able to lay relatively flat when I take an image, right? So if I can't get an image without showing a big old shadow because a corner is a half an inch off the ground or so, well, not ground, off the mat, then I usually try to work on it a little bit. And I've been doing this for a while now, and I really, I showed you one of the fails on purpose, but that doesn't happen too often. If you do it right, that really doesn't happen very often. And there's two key ingredients: heat and pressure.
Ooh.
Yes.
Well, I know about pressure. I feel that every day. Heat, not so much right now. It's like 20 below zero outside.
It's crazy cold outside right now.
Crazy cold.
And I'm just being a softie on it too, because we haven't had that much really cold weather this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's only like 11 below, and it's going to be 40 degrees on Friday. So it's not that bad. Yeah. There'll be time later in the month and in February where we hit 40 below with the wind chills, and that's
probably. Yeah, I actually think well, climate has changed anyway from when I was a kid, but I remember like December and January being pretty cold. But I feel like now February is when we really get hit. That seems to be our coldest month. So we'll see what happens. I've only had to pay for one plow job so far this year, so that's nice. December 19th,
I
we had to
paid
get
for
a plow.
0 because I have a
Yeah.
son who plows my driveway.
Yeah, but it's got to pay for the machinery
Yeah, that's true, but
and the
it's
gas.
relatively low maintenance, an oil change every year, and that's about it.
Yeah, well, yeah. I didn't have to do none of that. It was great. I just sipped my coffee while he pushes my snow. But yeah, so that's the one concern with that is you don't know how many snow counts you're going to get for a year. So you sign up for that, and it could be $100 this year, it could be $700. You know, it depends on how much snow you get. Either way, I don't have to do it, so I like that part. Nando is here. He says, "Hello, guys. Welcome to the show." Peter says, "I've noticed one name now week after week. I've sent a few messages to him or her thanking them for their business. Cool feeling having card store groupies." It's called customers. It's your customer loyalty. I argue with people usually on YouTube. I think most eBay sellers kind of get this, but people on YouTube all the time will post, comments like, "Oh, you're not building a brand. You're just selling on eBay. Nobody cares who you are." And I'm like, that's not true at all. And that's a very bad attitude because the person that's buying from you is buying from you. Yes, eBay is the platform that they're using that on, but they're still buying that product from you, and you're packing it and you're shipping it and you're taking the photos. You're doing all that. eBay doesn't do any of that. So
Yep.
yeah, so that's great. Yeah, keep working on that and keep building that up. Charlie, I've got to send some Chuck Eyes your way. Some Chuck Eyes.
Keith, that's a meat room secret. Don't give away the most value cut of all.
I want some. I like meat.
It's a meat room insider thing. Like you can't just be telling everybody about that.
Chuck Eyes.
No wonder I can't find them in the stores half the time. You're telling everybody.
Right.
There's only so many off a quarter of meat. So
you're gonna run out of Chuck Eyes, man. Lofi Joe says he will stay tuned. I think he's referring to our show announcement. I don't even worry about warped chrome cards. As far as I know, it doesn't even impact the grade. Yeah, and once you put them in a solid holder, they're not going to be curved anyway. And if they're really extremely curved, like I said, there's still a limit. If this is really curved and you're trying to bring it way back, you're eventually going to get some sort of, if it's got a paper back, which most chrome cards do, you could get a crease in there.
Yeah, I don't know about that theory too, Art. Like, I feel like those graders, there's so many weird things. They pull that out and the card's standing up on, different corners. I feel like they're gonna automatically in their head say, well, that's not a perfect card. That's not a 10,
Right.
And maybe Adam's right. Maybe by the time it gets there and comes out of the top loader, it's in better shape. I tend to struggle with thinking that alone would take that out. I think it would still regain a lot of that curve when it comes out of that top loader at that point, just because all the qualities to kind of remold it aren't there in transit.
Yeah, I've had some, like I said, minor, if it's got minor curving. I've had plenty where I've put them in, packed them tight in bags, and as long as they sit there for a while, I'm not talking pull them out tomorrow and they're straight and narrow. But if you pull a card out a couple months from now, it should have some of that curve out at least. Yeah. Keith has a solution here. He says heat plus pressure equals chrome PSA 10s. That's the secret to PSA 10 life right there. John says, I love your pickup videos. I feel like you find better inventory and value boxes where you live than what I find in Northeast Ohio. And I have heard that from other people.
Yeah.
oh, I can't find that stuff in those boxes, and I feel bad for you. I wish that was, because I can go to any show pretty much and find something of decent value, where I can at least negotiate it to a price where it makes sense.
Yeah.
But come to the goat show. We have dealers that have all kinds of great deals. I just put out a pickups video. That was all stuff from our own show. Ohio, not Northeast Ohio, not terribly far away. 7-8 hour drive. You can come to our show, hang out. It'd be fun. Get some solid fish sandwich and pick up some sweet cards, and yeah, what else do you need, right? That's life right there. Yeah, if you can't find them at a show, then yeah, you're gonna have to find another avenue. You're gonna have to buy lots on eBay, or try to get some, Facebook Marketplace stuff, something, because inventory is extremely important. I watched it was just a random YouTube channel that I found. It's not one that I follow or subscribe to, but it's this guy was interviewing a store owner, and it was trading card game stores, mostly Pokemon and stuff like that. But that was something that he asked him, well, what is one of the challenges that you have in running a store that you didn't think you'd have? He goes, well, I had a bunch of really nice cards and boxes and stuff to start my store with, but he goes, once I sold those, you can't get them back. So he said, how do I get inventory that gets the customer in again when I can't buy the inventory when I can't get it myself?
Yeah.
Right. So, if you have like the hot Prism box from last year, because the football quarterback rookies were big, you put that in your store, great, and you sell it. Well, try to get another one. It's not really a thing, unless you're really paying up. You're probably paying market for it. So, and I don't do a lot with Pokemon, but I think I get what he's trying to say. Like, Pokemon has these different releases for the game, and let's say it's this prismatic or whatever, which is coming out now, and you buy your case, you sell all the boxes. Where the hell are you going to get more prismatic? Like, it's not. Now you're going to have to pay up for it, or buy it from your customers. You have to buy it back, right? Be able to sell it again and throw some margin on top of it. So I thought that was. I hadn't thought about that in my head myself, but I was like, man, that's really right. It applies more to sealed product, I think, than anything else. Wax. Because once wax is open, it's open. But yeah, I was like, man, that would make it really hard to run a store, because you can't consistently keep the same product, because some of it just goes away and you'll never get it again. Yeah. Dan says a problem with Northeast Ohio value boxing, that all the shows are the same vendors, and yeah, that's not good.
Well, I mean, we see a lot of the same vendors in all the shows we go to as well, though.
Yeah, I think most of our vendors are collection buyers. They'll just run around and buy big collections, and that's where most of their value box stuff comes from. And then Charlie and I kind of go in and scoop it up as best we can. Yeah, it's pretty rare I go to a show where I can't find any value boxes to buy stuff from. But maybe you got to try some bigger shows, right? Like, so instead of going to a bunch of little Ohio shows where you're not getting anything, maybe just plan, once a year to do the national, or, twice a year do the national and do a Dallas show, or so, try to maybe plan a couple bigger trip shows instead of doing a bunch of local Ohio shows where you're not getting what you need. That'd be an option too. The biggest reason I go to the national, and this, people think this is nuts. Charlie doesn't think this is nuts anymore.
No, I don't.
But I go to buy non-sport cards. It's so weird, but that's the bulk of what I buy, because I can find such great stuff there at such a great price, and I just don't find enough of that at the shows where I'm at. So you gotta go. You have to go where you can get your products. Place an ad in the paper. Place an ad on Facebook. Say, hey, looking to buy collections, paying this much per card, or something. And maybe try to acquire some of that outside of a show. Art says he's blessed with great dealers in Southeast Michigan. I've not been to any shows in Southeast Michigan, but I could see that being a decent place to be. Michigan fans are pretty solid, you know, in their sports. And how about them Lions? They're pretty amazing.
The real deal.
Let's see, what was I
Not like
doing
the Vikings.
Yeah, they kind of failed at the end of the year there. I just had another big sale. I was just checking out to see what it was.
How big was it?
I don't know.
Say, right?
That's what I'm trying to see, but I can't get it to. I'm using my phone for the show, so I can't really look at it on there. I mean, I can go look at it on the laptop, but anyway, it wasn't in the second store. It was in the primary store. See if I got anything in there. These are like the hours where we get the sales, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about this last show. A bunch of offers to send too. Work never stops, kids. I had to be out of the house a lot today because I had to, well, allegedly run the donations, but I had to go to your house first, pick up the check, which I guess I could show that. I do have the check because obviously I couldn't give them the check. I couldn't make the donations today.
Right.
I got this nice check made out to our local food pantry for $71. So I'm happy to bring that to them. We did get 2 of the prizes dropped off. We got the helmet, actually 3 now. We dropped off and it was treacherous. It was so icy out during that Packer game.
Yeah.
We dropped off one of the Wheaties boxes. We met the winners of the helmet. You probably saw that photo on the Goat Show Facebook page. By the way, if you're not following that, even if you can't go to a show, follow it just because why not? It helps us out, so I appreciate it. And you can see what we're doing with our shows.
Right.
But got those out, and then I had 1 or 2 stop at our house to pick up their Wheaties boxes too. We had a bunch of like acrylic encased Wheaties boxes that were donated that we decided to add to the giveaways as well. I don't remember where I was going with this. What was I talking about? Anyway,
we were talking about the
dealers in Michigan
card shows.
Yeah,
the regional differences.
Yeah, and I could see Michigan being a pretty solid spot. So I'm glad you're there and you can find that. Yeah, you just if shows aren't the thing where you can get your inventory, then get it somewhere else. I started basically my entire store or getting inventory off of buying lots on eBay. Now, and I just talked to Bargain Boxer about this because he's like, I can't buy lots anymore. They're all, nobody puts good stuff in lots. And like, he's kind of right. So I started to kind of wander away from that because the nice thing is you just order it and it comes to your house, right? But generally there's shipping and there's like all these other things. You got to pay tax on it and all that stuff. And you just can't, lots, you get whatever you get. You can't cherry pick it. So I consider like a show buy, a stack of cards from a show, right? Let's say I pick out these cards out of a quarter box. Well, I kind of bought a lot, but I got to choose what was in my lot. You know what I'm saying? Customizable lot. And that's what you really want to do because you want to try to get the best stuff you can for the best price so you can sell the fastest. That should be your goal. So I still believe card shows are the best spot for that. But if you don't have that available to you, you got to find some sort of plan to get that. There's plenty of shows and have been finding great stuff of late. Great. That's good. And every show is kind of unique. I mean, Charlie's right. There are definitely dealers we buy from regularly. Like I'll walk into a show and I'll be like, oh, that guy, I got to go look at his stuff right away. But I always like it too when there's new dealers, and there's people who just get a table because they're just selling their collection, and those are great because maybe that stuff's been sitting out of circulation for 20 years. Who knows?
Yeah.
You get a crack at it. So maybe and this just popped in my head too. Maybe it's the time you're going to the shows. Are you trying to go to the show at 11 a.m. and it started at 9? Yeah, you're probably not going to find great stuff in value boxes because that's like Flipper Central. So if the show starts at 9, get there at 8:30 and go in as soon as they'll let you in, and try to get to some of those boxes early. And I bet you'd find better stuff that way.
Yeah, I mean, great example. The first table I hit was early in the show, and they were still sorting stuff in their boxes. And they were packed with a lot of serial numbered and die cut inserts and stuff like that. My biggest pickup for the show was in that first hour, when I was one of the first people going through. Now, this was a big dealer with a bunch of monster boxes on the table, so it was going to take a little longer to get picked through. But find that right away. Adam's right. It makes a difference when you go. There's 2 key buying times, right? The first hour or so when you get there, or even better, if you can get in a little bit early. That's when you're going to get the best selection of the good stuff. What's the other one, Adam?
The last hour.
The last hour, when people don't want to pack their stuff up and carry it out to the car, so they're willing to wheel and deal a little bit more.
That's when you buy your stack of Kakawow cards.
That's right.
Yeah. That's one great thing about our show, too. I'm going to keep talking about our show. I know you guys are probably sick of it, but tough, because we're very proud of it. Anyway, but that's one thing that Charlie and I agreed on when we decided to do a show that we wanted. I didn't want all the people coming in whenever, while dealers are trying to set up, because it's really annoying. And it also doesn't give the dealers a chance. So if you deal at our show, the doors do not open until 9. We have a nice waiting area for customers to come in and wait, so they're not sitting out in the cold. But they will wait until 9. So we allow setup at 8 a.m. for our dealers. So if you set up at 8 and you're ready to go, you can go shop the other dealers before anybody else gets in there. So that can be a really nice advantage. Heck, you could go to another dealer, pick up some stuff, put it on your table for the show, and try to flip it right away at that show. So the dealers seem to appreciate that. I think that's a big positive. Something we do that most of the shows, at least around here, don't do.
So yeah, great point. And I'll even expand on that. If you're really turning a lot of volume and you're making this work like a dollar box that is able to provide an annual income from this that can support his family, it may be worth the cost of a table, even if you're not selling at the table,
right?
So you can get in early, right, and get the best selection, get your stuff, and if you want, you can even get out early because you hit the cream of the crop, right?
Right.
So that's another way some people look at it. Like, hey, I might not even use my table all day, but I'm going to pay for one so I can get in an hour early during the setup period and talk to the dealers before the big crowds come in. Early access VIP at the National, right?
Right. And that's something that we might consider down the road, depending on how popular the show becomes. Maybe we do a early admission package or something like that. I don't know. But for now, we don't let anybody in until 9. There's big double doors you open to come into the venue. They are closed with no access in, and a big sign out front that says doors will open at 9. Please wait in the vestibule here. We got, like I said, a nice kind of lobby area. That's nowhere near any of the tables. It's completely closed off. And everybody has to wait in there until we open the doors. We even had someone who came to just attend the show, didn't know much about it, and just wanted to check it out. And 10 minutes in, asked, "Hey, do you guys have any tables available? I'll buy a table." And we ended up selling a table 10 minutes in because we had somebody who was so impressed with the show and felt like they could deal and and have a good sales day. So we've got the confidence. I don't think it's going to be very long before we're going to start seeing a waiting list and things like that. So it's a good problem to have. Might be a potential problem eventually that we will have to address. But like growing and being good. The venue's done a good job with us. They've done more advertising. They have it's new owners. They have a new a website where they put our information on it. Got us out to the more community. We have some other community groups we're working with now, so we're really able to bring in quite a few people, which is great. But that actually might be another solution too. Okay, well, I go to shows and I don't find any good value boxes. But Charlie's right. Maybe you just book a table and say you're buying. Put a big sign on it. I'm buying. Any value boxes, any quantity boxes. You might just have some customers come up to you and be like, "Hey, I got this 3-row box. I'm trying to move. Would you give me $75 for it?" Well, maybe that's how you get those buys. You work it from the dealer side instead of the buyer, the customer side or the attendee side. Taking a little bit of a chance because obviously you got to put some money out up front to buy the table, with no guarantees that you'll have something to buy. But it's something you could try. Dan says he's going to seriously consider the March show weekend trip and bring his family. So I know Dan travels by smoke cloud, so he should be able to just be like, and then he's here, and I could be like, I thought you were just in Ohio. I could have sworn I saw you in Ohio, and now you're here. That's a little bit of a national inside joke, but yeah, do it, dude. Come here. The March show is like 3 weeks before the draft, I think. So there's going to be actually stuff already going on at Lambeau. Some of the streets I think are already blocked off. I have a good friend who's like setting up a bunch of like the security stuff there, so it's kind of interesting. I got a little inside look at what their plans are. Not like actual security, but just kind of what they're blocking off, and where people are going to be able to go, who's going to be set up where and stuff. But that might be a great show to come to, just because we have a ginormous event going on here a couple weeks after.
Right.
And like I said, we can help you get some accommodations and stuff. It'd be fun. I'd love to have some viewers come out to the show. Go Lions! Go J Red Goff! Go J Red Goff! I was never a huge fan of Jared Goff. The last 2 years have really changed my opinion on him. I think the dude's pretty solid.
Solid is accurate.
And I think that's what the Lions really need. He doesn't have to be super flashy. He has to get the ball to the guys that do all the good stuff and not give the ball away and stay off the ground and all those obvious things. And he just doesn't have to do too much. And that's awesome. That's perfect for a quarterback like that.
It's kind of weird though, because wouldn't you say Stafford is solid too? And they just kind of swapped two pretty equal quarterbacks in my mind.
Yeah, they kind of did. I think to some degree, you make a move like that because I think money wise it was pretty even.
I think so, yeah.
I think there was maybe a discrepancy in the draft pick that was exchanged or something like that, but that was about it. But I think when you have a team that you feel like has good potential, but they just kind of they just got stale. Yeah. I think that's just something you do to sort of give it a spark, right?
Yeah.
It obviously worked for the Rams. I mean, Stafford got there, they won the Super Bowl right away. Yeah. So, and the Lions have kind of been building on, that base for a couple of years, they got rid of other good pieces. They had DeAndre Swift and so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they can pull it off. But I don't think anybody would be mad to see the Lions win the Super Bowl. I think that would be pretty dope.
Yeah, I mean, I always look at it as when one of your key competitors is successful, it shows the strength of everybody in the division, right? Mm-hmm. So, anyone in the Central winning the Super Bowl makes everybody else look better in the division, right, because you were playing top tier talent all
those teams. Yeah. And that was something that, and I don't really follow the league all season long, just a few players and some accomplishments and stuff for the card purposes. But that was something that I learned when I watched a bit of this last Packer game. Was they had a good record, but they didn't beat any of the teams in their division. They had one win in the division or something.
Yeah.
And then the other 10 wins were all out of division teams. And it's like, Well, that doesn't look good when 3 of your teams are in the playoffs. You got a tough road.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Packers have a lot to work on too. So yeah, go Lions. I agree with that statement. I have had to expand who I look at when going to shows, looking through binders, not turning up my nose immediately if things aren't priced. Agreed. If you go to some of my earlier videos, I talk about that a lot. Okay, I'm expanding now. These are the players I'm going to buy now, and I kind of made it as an announcement thing. And I have expanded it even since then. I've expanded like beyond players. It used to be just a player buyer and flipper. Now I go, I don't care who the player is, but if it's from this set or it's this parallel or this type of insert or something like that. What did I sell this morning? Again, I can't look it up. Well, I guess I could look it up on my computer. But it was like a Mark Brunel card or something, which I don't
Yeah, I
sell a ton
remember you
of.
selling Mark Brunel.
Yeah, but it was a great set. It was a good insert, and he had a solid career. Trying to think of what it was. Why can't I look at the? Everything's going to performance when I click on it. Okay, here we go. Obviously Saquon. Let's see. They sold that Tyreek Hill card I got out of a dime box, by the way. That
Nice.
rookie one. That rookie playoff. Remember when I showed you that
Yeah.
at the Green Bay show? I got $20 for it.
Excellent.
Dime to 20. Gotta love that. Just I thought maybe I could just pull it up quick, but I have way too many orders in here to do anything quick. Which is it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, oh, sorry to hear that.
Right. Yeah, you poor bastard. Here it is. I sold a Brad Johnson rookie. Do you know who Brad Johnson is?
Tampa Bay?
Well, I think he was with the Vikings when he was a rookie. He came on as a Vikings quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a 1993. Well, actually, that's wrong. I don't even have the right year in the listing. That's funny. It was a 1997, I think, was his rookie year. UD3. Do you remember the UD3 where they had like the 3 different like subsets? Brad Johnson rookie, next wave, numbered out of 1,000, die cut. And people love that set. I saw all kinds of cards out of that set of it doesn't even matter who the player is. But I bought it. I'm sure I got it out of a dime box or quarter box. I don't remember exactly, but I got $3 for it.
There you go.
And that's a card that 99% of the people going through boxes would skip that card. In fact, I think I got that at the Green Bay buy too.
Yeah.
Same as that Tyreek Hill card. So yeah, that's a good example where would I have been buying Brad Johnson a year ago? No. But that's where I really learned what sets, grab hold and, serial numbering is so important, things like that. And it was like, okay, this is a good combination for my dime or 20 cents or whatever the heck I paid for it, where I can make some money on this card. And I did. So. All right. And then the rest of it is all Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith and Patrick Mahomes and right. So you don't want to go out and buy like a lot of 200 Brad Johnson cards because Adam said he sold a Brad Johnson card. That's not quite how it works, but that was my big order that I just got was Barry Sanders stuff. I think I sold a couple wacky packages. Couple Brady's, a couple Bo Jacksons, a whole ton of Barry Sanders, and some Lamars, I think. Oh, and I sold here's another good example. I sold a 1998 Skybox EX 2000. You know the one where it's like half acetate and half foil?
Yep.
I don't care what player it is. If they have any hobby at all, you buy it. And I sold a 1998 Skybox EX 2001 Drew Bledsoe card. Not a rookie card. He was a rookie in 93, so not even close. But a great set, and a decent player. Yeah, you want that stuff. That's the money right there. Okay. I'll ask on a card what they want for something that I think is pretty nice. If the offer is low or reasonable-ish, I'll take my time and take the risk. Sometimes it is a waste, other times it is gold. Yeah, that is just kind of how it goes. Uh, I try, and I know Charlie has too. We both kind of come up with the same um, result. I try to buy out of like $5 and $10 boxes, and I just don't get the value. The
Yeah.
$5 cards are $5 cards. The $10 cards are $10 cards. But I can go into a dollar box or a 50-cent box, and I can find a $10 or $20 card. So I just find the value in actual value boxes. That Tyreek Hill rookie card, I got that for out of a dime box. It wasn't even sleeved.
Yeah.
You know, it was a playoff rookie card. I'm like, I can buy, even if it takes me a while to sell that card, I can take a chance on a big stack of other cards and still pay under $20 for that whole stack because they're
Yep.
dime cards. And as soon as I sell the Tariq, all those other cards were free. You know, you can't do that in a $10 box. And I'm not going to say I never buy out of a $5 box or $10. I've gone into a few. I can remember an occurrence at the Appleton Fox City Stadium show where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to look in his $5 box. And I was finding like $30 and $40 cards in there. I'm like, what is this? And I bought a whole bunch of stuff out of there and made good money on it and sold fast. And it's just kind of an anomaly. And I'm pretty sure I just found a dealer who was like just selling stuff. Like he just had stuff and he's like, oh, this is a Peyton Manning card. This has to be like $5. Put $5 on it. And lo and behold, it was like a gold refractor out of 50 or something. I'm like, dude, that's
Yeah.
better than $5. So, you can find those sort of weird outlying occurrences, but most dealers, they're going to spend the time looking up and pricing their cards that are over $5. And anything they think is less than $5, they're just throwing a 25-cent box or 4 for $1 box or, whatever it is. And boom, that's where you can get your plays. Those Tops Now Shohei Ohtani cards, when you told me about those, because you had found one or two at a show
Yeah.
and you were getting like $40 for them or something. The next couple of shows, I don't see them much now. You don't really see any Ohtani. Everybody looks up everything that's Ohtani now. But
Yeah.
for a while there, they didn't, right after you had Tommy John and stuff. And I went to like 3 shows in a row, and I found one of those in every single value box I went into.
Yeah.
For like 50 cents, or I found them in some dollar boxes. I mean, they were all worth it. $1.50, I don't care. I'll buy all of them.
Yep.
And flipped them right away. I was getting $30-$40 for them. It's like, geez. Because they're so unassuming. They don't look like much. They're not fancy. They don't have a bunch of shiny stuff on them. And people are like, oh, it's like a Shohei Ohtani base card. All right, a buck, 50 cents. At that time. Don't think of Ohtani now, because now everybody knows who he is. But at that time, it was still questionable.
Yeah.
To some degree. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. You just got to grind it and try to find stuff. That's all we can do. And that, to me, is one of my favorite parts of the business, because I walk into a show, I have no idea what I'm going to find that day. And I love that part. Love that part. And I'm in a position where I don't need inventory. I have plenty of things to list, which is good because I wasn't always in that spot. So I can go in and be like, man, I only found like 10 cards. That's fine. No big deal. I got plenty of stuff to list. Or I can go in and be like, this dealer had stuff priced really well, and he had a bunch of monster boxes, and he threw me a deal at $50 a box. Couldn't pass it up. I bought them all. So now I got 20,000 more cards. So it really allows you to adjust to whatever the situation is that's in front of you. If you're going to be like, I have to go to a show this weekend because I have to get inventory, that's a tough spot.
Yeah.
And that is probably where you would buy things that are just, in your terms, or in your verbiage, it's a waste. And that's not, you really don't want to do that, because you're going to be spending a lot of time and capital and sitting on cards that, can't sell, that you overpaid for. That's like the worst thing that could happen. Peter says he was at the Brotherly Love show in Philadelphia. In December, so many people was uncomfortable to try and dig value boxes. Heck, just to walk around the aisle was uncomfortable. We
Yeah.
don't want that. That is
That
something we're going to try to be very careful of that. We do get positive feedback that we have a nice big open venue, plenty of aisle space for people to get back and forth. You can easily pull out a chair and sit down and dig. We actually expanded our, because the dealers are back to back, right, in the aisles. We actually expanded that because we got some feedback last time that there wasn't quite enough space between one dealer's back and another dealer's back, and we're like, well, we want to give the dealers a little bit more space. Much better this show. We got a comment last time because they put 2 chairs at every table last time. We got a comment last time, too many chairs. We had took a bunch of chairs out. We just put 1 chair at each table this time. Much better.
Yeah.
We have more chairs available. So I'm like, no, if you want another chair, you can't get a chair. No, you can get another chair. However, I've got something that's better than a chair, and I'm going to show
here we
them, Charlie.
go.
I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah, this is actually, I'm jealous of this. I want to get one before the national, actually, because that's where I think it really will pay dividends.
So we might have to go to squares for our style for a second here so you can actually see me. So check this thing out. Do you guys know what this is? This is
it's a giant tape measure.
It does look like that, doesn't it? It's got a nice handle. It's got a handle here. So this is a seat. So these are like, think of like a bowling ball, right? These are like where your fingers go. So you got that on that side, you got this on this side, and all you do is give it a little twist, pull it out, and now you've got a stool. And this thing holds up to 350 pounds, so it's plenty sturdy for anybody. I just used it at the goat show at quite a few tables, and it worked out great. It's lightweight. You can pick it up with your 2 fingers. It goes right in my backpack. And then to collapse it, you kind of do the reverse. So instead of grabbing and twisting, you just pull apart, twist back, and it folds right in.
All those years of practicing the accordion are paying off for you now.
Yeah, it kind of is accordion-like. But yeah, this thing is freaking baller. If you're a dollar box digger, this is what you gotta have. Look at how easy that thing operates. I mean, that's my commercial for expandable stools. Now I'll go back to the circles because I like circles better. Where is it? I think this is it. No, get back here.
There you go.
There we go. All right, I got to get back to the chat now. Yeah, so highly suggest one of these if you're a show buyer. I don't know what they cost. I got it as a Christmas gift. I had seen someone at the National like 4 or 5 years ago when I was at it, had one, and I'm like, I want that. It wasn't quite as cool as this. Like his was a little more complicated. You had to like unsnap things and twist it around. This one is like super. Takes 0 effort to put it in and put it back. So I really like this one a lot. But yeah, I'd always wanted one, asked for one for Christmas. I got it this Christmas, and it's amazing. And I like the yellow. Yellow is fun too. Just make sure when you get your butt up from the boxes, you remember to grab your chair.
Yeah, good call. Yeah. I could see that being an issue if it'd be easy to forget about that.
Yeah. But the older I get now and the more I have to do this, like I have to do this for my living. So I have to go to shows, and I can just be like, well, I hurt today. I'm not going to a show. That's not really an option most of the time. But there were a lot of like day afters where, I've been digging for 4 or 5 hours in a box where I'm hurting, just the concrete and trying to stand. And I feel like maybe I didn't do as good a job in my digs because I wasn't comfortable and I had to keep shifting my feet and I couldn't see well, and I was dropping cards, stuff like that. And what I like about that stool is actually a little bit lower, and I thought maybe this is too low. No, it's perfect. So when you look at like an 8-foot, most of the time your shows are going to have these 8-foot plastic folding tables, right? Like Home Depot sells, Menards sells, and they're all basically the same, and they're a little bit lower, I think. And when I sit on that stool and I'm right at you're like right at box level. It's perfect. You can just lift the cards up a little bit. It's actually going to be really good for videos. I think.
Yeah.
I took some video at the goat show. I haven't processed any of that yet. I didn't have time today, but I'm kind of interested to see when I was sitting down, what did that look like? Because I think it's going to be a better perspective for the video too.
Sure.
It's easier to hold cards in front of your camera when you're right here and not looking down.
Okay.
So yeah, I love that thing. You knew I had to do a plug for my stool.
I'm
Weren't you?
honestly jealous.
Yeah.
I intend to get one before we leave for Chicago.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think they're that expensive. I mean, based on what it is, it can't be more than 25 bucks. I'm sure you can look them up.
Yeah.
Collapsible stool. I'm sure there's a million of them out there. But
Right.
yeah, super super happy to get that for a Christmas present. Sparkle Sports Cards is here from Australia. How about that?
Good day, mate.
So what do we do in Australia, huh? Looks like we've got some additional comments here. In Australia, we don't have card shows, plus only have maybe 3 a year, only in 3 of our state capitals a year. Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy. It's just not as big there. So how do you get your card? Obviously, you're into cards. How do you get your cards? Do you Australian mail? Yeah,
You
excuse
can
me.
make it,
I know.
Adam. You can make it.
Just barely. I know you guys have a pretty strong eBay market in Australia.
Mhm.
So do you do a lot there? Like buy on eBay and stuff? I'd like to know. The public wants to know more about the Australian.
I see some sold sales in Australia pretty frequently.
Yeah, and it's funny sometimes when I would look up cards, especially when I was doing non-sport cards or lots, I would get a lot of like Australian, it has the Australian currency on it. Yeah, so when you don't separate out by like your own country or whatever, you will see a lot of Australian listings. How much does the stool weigh? Well, I have a scale. Do you want me? I'll weigh it. Hold on.
13.6 ounces.
Shush.
That's my guess.
All right. I'm gonna say. What did you say? 15.6.
13.6 ounces.
Did you look it up?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna say it's 1 pound 3 ounces. So that's like 19 ounces.
Okay.
I have my trusty scale here, so let's go take a look. I'll hit the lock button so you can see what the actual weight is when I'm done.
The drama. We need a drum roll.
Oh, we weren't even close.
No?
Nope.
Should we play higher or lower?
I don't know if you can read this. It's 40.6.
Ooh.
So 40 ounces is what, like 3? It doesn't feel that heavy though. It's like super
You
light
must
to
have
me.
super strong 2 fingers.
No, I'm pretty sure that's not. Pretty sure that's not accurate. Because 40 ounces would be what, like 3 pounds? I don't know. Maybe it is. I mean,
Yeah, 3 point something.
it's lightweight, but it's also sturdy. So it has to, and it does have a fair amount of content. It's a pretty solid structure when you put it together. And of course, it's got like springs and stuff in there too for the. I don't know. Just freaking go buy one. It's not heavy.
2.5 pounds? Is that what 40 ounces is?
Yeah, about that. That's not that bad. That's like what, 2 bags of M&Ms? Unless you're ambitious and you buy the 3-pound bag, then it's 3 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 40.6 ounces, if my scale is accurate on it. This doesn't sit as well on my scale because it's a bigger item, but I can tell you it's not heavy. I put it in my backpack and I barely noticed it was in there. So carry it around, but for the saving of the back and the feet and all those good things, I think the few ounces you got to carry around, it's worth it.
Yeah, and it looks like it fits nice into a backpack or something.
Yeah, I just put it right in the main pocket in my backpack, and it fits just fine. You know, it's like the size of a laptop, I guess.
Yep.
Smaller laptop.
And
But I will.
I was sitting at my desk today thinking about our trip to the Eau Claire card show last year and looking at
Mhm.
this sticker from the Goat Coffee House saying, where
Yeah,
can I go with that? And that stool would be a perfect place.
that is very true.
Because it's nice and round, just like the top of that stool.
Maybe that's our thing, Charlie. Maybe we start making custom ones of those stools and selling them, and we'll put the goat on it, and you can
Is
sit
it
on the goat.
3D printed?
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. All right, let's see, where are we at? I buy a lot of Panini manufacturers boxes and rip them. Okay, so you're a sealed wax buyer.
Yeah. Which,
Not a great way to make money in cards, though. Bradley Helston guessed 24 ounces. Not quite. It was 40 ounces.
yeah,
I don't know why we all undershot that so much.
just like Old English.
Just like Old English.
I don't know.
Oh,
Colt 45.
Colt 45. No, that's a beer. That's
Yeah, you gotta
Lando
have a 40 on
Calrissian
it.
beer. Right. Oh, 40 ounce. Got it. I got it.
Now you got it.
Now I got it. Sparkle says I started an eBay store in November. Great. How's it going? Started as a cards collector, especially of Chiefs cards.
Okay.
I think that's the vast majority of us how we started, and then all of a sudden we're like, man, I got a bunch of stupid cards I don't want. Somebody will want them, and then you start to try to find a market for that, and then lo and behold, there's actually like money in it. So,
Right.
yeah, that's a great way to do it. You've already got capital invested. You don't have to put cash up. You can just sell what you got. And keep building it from there. That's how most of us have done it, and it works. It works. We're caught up in the chat. All
See
right,
that?
so let's go back to our I kind of want to hit these last topics here. 2025 Top Series 1. What are your thoughts on that? It's up for
Oh,
pre-order now at many of the box
yeah.
suppliers.
Well, I guess we can take a look at that a little bit. So I think first of all, Top Series 1 is like sacred cow in the
Flagship.
hobby, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the flagship. I'm gonna take this little chat down. Okay. It's the flagship, so I feel like it's one of those that you have to be engaged with if you're doing baseball at all, right? I had a lot of success last year. It was an exciting time too. I don't remember if I did one box or two, and I usually do the jumbo hobby because then you get 3 hits, including an autograph. Those are 180 this year.
I was just going to ask, what do they cost?
Yeah, 180. And you actually get a little bit fewer cards. Well, actually, let me scroll down here. I'll show you. There you go. So the jumbo box, you get 400 cards. Okay. In that versus the regular hobby box is 240. So I think that checks out. I think it's when I was comparing the hobby case versus the jumbo case, you actually get more cards in the case of hobby cases, but you get less hits.
Right.
So, yeah. Yeah, so $180 for a jumbo box or $90 for a regular hobby box. The difference is if we look at the details on the hobby box, one autograph or relic card per hobby box versus with the jumbo box, as I said before, 3 hits, including at least one auto card per jumbo box. So
got it.
So for me, I've always been a jumbo box guy. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to get one or two, but I am going to get some just because it's the quintessential baseball set, right? If you looked at the checklist at all, I'm not super excited about any of the rookies. James Wood, Connor Norby, maybe. You know, it doesn't. None of the names really jump out as huge to me. Some of the inserts are nice though, and you can like this home field advantage. I really like.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, so the odds are, odds are pretty similar to some of the things they've had in the past. Let me see here. Oh, I did Windows, so I gotta change this out if you want to look at the odds a little bit. Boom, boom, boom. Hold please. I'll do entire screen. That way I can switch back and forth between them. There we
There
go.
you go.
So I usually look at the odds for the jumbo boxes because that's what I shop.
Right.
And the biggest thing is some Tunes auto, dual auto. It's like $1 million, 1 in a million or something like that. Let's see if I can. Yeah, let's see if I can find it here. Biggest hit was down towards the. There it is. Signature Tunes dual autographs gold in a hobby box. It's 1 in 1,003,420.
Jeez.
So that's what we're looking for.
Wowzer.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things, 1 in, a couple thousand, that I think will be pretty nice. And some of them you'll feel like you got a banger on those, right? Like just because of the designs and whoever's on them. You got some of the standards, of course, the parallels, the oranges, and all that stuff. Still got stars of the MLB in there, I see. Legendary home field advantage. That's 1 in 14,335. That's not too bad. The foil fractors, of course, have some big numbers. So, like greatest hits foil fractor here, 1 in 250,855. So, plenty of hits to go after there. We talked about the checklist, looking at some of the rookies in there. Aaron Schunk. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for names that excite me, and it takes a little bit to dig into some. So that I feel like it's a kind of a down year for rookies a little bit. Yes, everybody's going to have their favorite team where they're going to talk about their team's rookie, but we're usually looking for league-wide rookie hype, right? So
yeah,
there's Connor Norby. I know that name just from watching him in the minors a little bit, and I know he's been a deal. Dylan Cruz, that's another name that we've been watching for a few years.
Yeah.
Who else we got here? Hurston Waldrip for the Braves. There's James Wood for the Nationals. Jonkinsey Noel. I've seen that name a lot through the minors coming up. What else we got here? Del Santos, not really. McGreevy. Nacho Alvarez, I never heard of him, but it's fun to say. Let's see.
Well, that's important.
Yes. Pedro Leon, I've heard a little bit about. Yeah, we're almost through the full base checklist already. Sean Reynolds, Spencer Schwellenbach, I've heard of a little bit. And that's about it for rookies. Like nobody really jumps out at me. We're gonna have the golden mirror image variations again. I do like those. So yeah, I mean, kind of the usual from them. I do like the sound of some of these. So there's number variations, but more interesting to me is these dancing Dodgers variations. I'd like to get a look at those. I haven't seen those yet.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I will be engaged in that a little bit. I will not go crazy on it. I probably won't order it from Tops. I'll probably just go to one of our local card shops and pick some up that morning. It's something that I take the day off of from my day job so that I can just do cards all day and pretend I'm the dollar box.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I didn't buy a box last year, and I really regretted it. So I'm definitely going to do that this year.
Yeah, and I think it drops on February 12th.
And then you got to run right home and list them all.
Yep. Yeah, speed is key when new product drops. I that is something I definitely noticed right away when I got into this. Because values drop pretty quickly just a week or so in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I used to do gaming miniatures, it was the same thing. You know, the new releases were always where the money went.
Yep.
For about a week.
Yep.
And then it really started dropping. I think, honestly, for Tops, I think part of it is just the newness pushes the price, but Tops is still one of those sets that people complete. So I think that's a big part of it. So, you know, maybe they don't need the care for the certain player, collect a certain player, but it's one of the last cards they need for their set, so they buy it.
Yep.
You know, and that creates competition for a card that normally wouldn't have a lot of buyers. But one of the main reasons I want to do it is just because it helps me sell other cards.
Yep.
So you get to all those eyes on your store. You know, you got all these great new listings. So they buy these 2025 Tops cards they need, and then maybe they buy a couple more to hit my coupon or something. So I just like it's a small price to pay for a huge boost in traffic.
Yep. So that Signature Tunes dual autos that was like 1 in a million.
Yes.
There are 6 signers for that. You got Corbin Carroll of the Diamondbacks, Metro Boomin, a music producer, a Boogie with the Hoodie, who's a musician, if you don't know. Aaron Judge, that'll be a big one.
Yeah.
Ty Verdes, musician, and Bryson Stott of the Phillies.
I just sold a Bryson Stott card this week.
There is a Frank Thomas Big Hurt auto variation set. That looks kind of fun.
That does look fun.
And the numbers are Hurt A and then the number.
Hurt A. That's fun. Yeah. I like it. Classy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's a release that, you know, most people will want to participate in. So I'm looking forward to that one. And it's affordable. You know, Topps has still kept their stuff fairly affordable, and I think that's key.
Yep.
Yeah, so what are you guys thinking about that? Somebody said there's silver mojo packs. You get silver mojo packs with it. Is that true?
I don't know. I don't really remember if that was in there last year, and I hadn't really heard anything about that this year.
Okay.
And I don't see anything in the checklist that necessarily tells me that.
Okay. I thought there was, like, per hobby jumbo box, you got a special silver pack in it too. I thought that was true, but maybe not.
Yeah, I'm getting older. My memory is not as good.
Right. David points out too, Cruz is a good one. Cooper Pratt, I don't know who that is. He's rookie for the Brewers, I guess.
Yeah.
They also got rid of the Black Mother's Day and Father's Day parallels. Interesting.
I do see that. Yeah, they are not in the checklist.
Okay. Well, that's good. There was too many parallels anyway on pretty much every product. So good. Thanks for doing the research on that, Charlie, because I wasn't gonna.
You weren't gonna do that.
I'll let you do the research. and then I'll go buy some. And then I'll buy them out of your nickel box.
Yeah, there you go.
Every time I say that, it makes me think of Nickelback, and then I cry a little
Nickelback.
bit inside. Yeah. Makes me want to cry then. All right. I think that's probably going to be about it for tonight. Do we have any other topic? Oh, we were talking about alternative buys. Well, maybe I'll throw that on the topics for next week's show.
Well,
Looking at some products that maybe aren't normally things you would buy to resell.
for example, stickers.
Correct. Yeah, that was going to be number one on the list. Yeah, stickers, different game cards, things like that. Inserts from different products and stuff. Not necessarily new products, but products from the '80s and stuff like that. I think we just want to. I want to have a discussion about that because I like all that stuff, and I think they're a good buy and a good sell. So, David says there is 2 silver packs in hobby and 3 for jumbos.
Yeah, I think they're right. I think I'm just forgetting about it for some reason. I mean,
Okay.
that's where they come from. That's the only
Right.
product that they really come from with Tops, right?
Right, because there's literally like a silver pack that just says like Tops 2024 on it or whatever. Well, 2025 for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're some kind of exclusive parallel, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I believe so. And you can get autos in those, I think, too. Pretty hard to hit, I imagine, but
Yeah, just glancing at the checklist again to see if I just missed it on there. But yeah, I mean they don't call them Mojo either, do they? I think we just started calling it Mojo in the hobby or something like that.
yeah.
We?
Well, Mojo is a specific type of parallel. It's that kind of boxy refractor looking thing.
Yeah, but that's what was usually in the silver packs, wasn't it?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Dan says it's hobby gets 1 and jumbo gets 2 silver Mojo packs.
Yeah.
David said, "Yep, you're right. 1 and 2." So the jumbo box also gets you an additional silver pack.
Oh, here we go.
Value-wise.
So yeah, Tops doesn't call it a Mojo pack; they just call it a silver pack.
I've never heard it called a Mojo pack either. So
jumbo only silver pack box loader, 1990 Tops baseball chrome cards. Yeah, and that's all it says.
Okay. Well, looking forward to it. I haven't bought a hobby box in over a year because I didn't get my Bowman U this year. So I think I'm going to trade that idea in for a Tops box. One of my goals for this year was to expand on my baseball quite a bit. Baseball did very well for me last year, considering I didn't really buy any or didn't buy very many. So I'm excited about it. I haven't opened a box of baseball hobby cards in 30 years. So yeah, it'll be fun. Maybe we should do a rip party or something.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. All right. I have to pass out now, so I'm gonna let everybody go for tonight.
Yeah.
My head is starting to do
early.
Yep, and I got to take the dog out yet tonight. So,
and I got to go back to the office tomorrow. I'm
coming
off my work from home rotation.
How's your scans going? You getting some scans in?
Yeah, it's going good. Yep.
Dan says a rip party in the Discord voice chat, but there's no visual with that, right?
Yeah, we would have to upload pictures in the chat too.
Yeah. And I think with a rip, you really want to be able to see it. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do a live on YouTube just for fun. I don't know. We'll see. But like I said, I haven't ripped a hobby in a long time. It'd be fun. And to do it on release day would be even more fun. So looking forward to it.
Oh, Dan says we can have video live in the voice chat too.
Oh, yeah. Well, look at Dan knowing our products better than we do. That's great. I love
over their tech guy.
I guess so. That's fine. All right. Any parting thoughts?
Good show. Appreciate having this with you every week. Really great talking about the Goat Card Show. I thought we had a great turnout. I'm excited for the next one again. Really loved going through these Warner Brothers Wow cards. That was fun. Other than that, just peace out. Take care of each other.
Remember, you can't sell what you don't list. See you all next week, 8 Central Standard Time every week. If you didn't join us live this time, you're watching it recorded, try to join us live. It's a lot of fun. You can be part of the chat. We'll see you next time.